Hello and welcome back. This is MC1 Gamer bringing you something different. This is some Marvel news, and stay with me. Just stay with me. I know that not everybody who likes Warhammer is into Marvel and vice versa, but there's something that's a parallel here. There's something connected. It seems that the bubble world of similar to what's happening with the rumors of Ninth Edition is also getting kind of kicked into the whole Marvel verse. Marvel Entertainment had a live kickoff today to talk about Secret Wars, and while I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm listening to it in the background, and there just seems to be some tremendous parallels to what we've been hearing as rumors for Ninth. And could it be a coincidence? Probably, but here's some of the details. First of all, if you're a fan of Marvel, you're gonna love you're gonna love hearing about this. You may not love what you're gonna hear. If you're not, you're gonna see some real connections to what all of us have been discussing and all of us have been talking about concerning the rumors of where Warhammer Fantasy is going. So bear with me. The details that have been put out there, and this is very recent, is that all the build up since Marvel Now is all coming together with this and leading into this new Secret Wars event. And it's an 8-series event. It's supposed to encompass all the way across with all kinds of crossovers and all the different publications in Marvel throughout that time period. And what's happening is that there's this, and this is kind of like the Crisis on Infinite Marvel. They had something similar to this in DC, and they've done something similar to this also. Was it Flashpoint or something in Marvel, where all these realities, all these different Earths are going to be colliding. And so now, if anybody who doesn't know as far as the fluff of Marvel is concerned, the real world is considered to be Earth 616. And there's the Ultimate Universe, and then there's all these alternate, which is, they tried to launch a whole new way of, kind of jump-starting these characters in the Ultimate Universe, and a lot of people like that and don't like it. And then there's the regular Marvelverse, and the Marvelverse encompasses all these alternate Earths with alternate versions of characters, different realities, paradoxes, and whatnot. What they're doing is they're going to be taking this whole big mishmash, including the Ultimate Universe, and they're going to have it all collide. So they have this kind of 8-hour window when two Earths converge on each other, and when they converge on each other, there's this limited time where they're going to be able to, where the heroes from that Earth is going to be able to have to try and figure out what exactly they need to do to try and stop it, to correct it, to prevent it. And at the end of that 8-hour period, regardless of how it turns out, one of those Earths is going to be gone. It just sounds like that bubble thing that we're hearing from GW, the idea that after the end times, everything is going to get ripped apart, probably after this gigantic battle royale between all of the mega super-powered heroes and villains that are being created and are coming into play throughout all the end times books. And after the dust settles, the reality is ripped apart, and then there's these different existences with different pockets of settlements and factions that are occasionally going to collide with each other and have conflict. Now, we don't know the full details of what that really is with Ninth Edition in Fantasy, but we do know, as far as Warhammer is concerned, but we do know what they mean with Marvel. What that means is that these planets, these versions of these planets, these realities of Earth are going to be smashing into each other and changing things, and that's going to leave a lot of openness to do a number of things. They're going to be able to retcon everything, basically. So you're going to have conflicts with the same characters against other versions of their characters. Just expect Thor to fight Thor, Miles Morales fighting Peter Parker, all the dead characters, like Wolverine, for instance. Deadpool's going to be dying soon. All the characters that are going to be killed off could come back. There's going to be a complete alteration of reality. And what this could also mean is, and we've been seeing a direction with this, if you've been following the movies, you've been following the politics, and you've been following all the information that's been going on with the conflict with Fox owning part of the properties, all the mutants, all, you know, and Marvel really, you know, wanting to try and get a deal going so they can really do it right. I mean, I like the X-Men movies, but I don't love them, and there's some that I think really suck. The most recent ones are okay, but it's still not done by Marvel, and it's still not done as well as it could be. Marvel's done an exceptionally good job of capturing the essence of their characters in the movies that they are in control of, and they would love to get their hooks back into things like Spider-Man and Wolverine and the X-Men and mutants in general. And some of the trends that, if you don't know or don't know, that have been going on have been just a changing of the backgrounds, which does not work with things that have happened. Things like saying Scarlet Witch is not a mutant. Scarlet Witch is not even the daughter of Magneto. Which conflicts with the whole No More Mutants plot line, where she basically changed, you know, she used her powers in her insanity and turned off all the, you know, the mutants. That created several years of plot line that were in some awesome comics and some awesome conflict, where there was only like 200 mutants left. But now, because Fox owns everything mutant, and they can't even mention mutant with the film properties, at Marvel, they decided, well, fuck the mutants. We're just going to go forward with everything that's Inhumans, and that'll be the mutants. And this is a possibility that they might just say, you know, to hell with the mutants. And now in Marvel, mutants are actually Inhumans, and you know, that's a big fu to Fox. And you know what? Guess what? It'll work. You see that they've been killing off systematically some of the characters, like Wolverine. They're going to be killing off Deadpool. They're ending Fantastic Four. Guess what? Those are all Fox-owned properties. Those are all properties that they can manipulate over at Fox, and Marvel can't do anything about it because they have this open-ended, endlessly renewable possibility that was done back, I guess, when they were in bankruptcy, or when they needed the funds, and they sold that off to Fox, and Fox is just running with it because it's a cash cow. They make a ton of money from it. So this is the way for Marvel to basically take back control of entire concepts of that they've sold off, and they can get away with it. But it just seems there's so much crazy parallels here. So going further, what they're saying is that the very first issue, the Ultimate Universe, and the regular Marvel 616 universe are going to collide. And when they collide, again, there's going to be 8 hours before everything is destroyed. And they're going to have to figure out how to try and stop it. Where, you know, only one planet will exist at the end of that. And they're going to fail. They already gave it away. They're going to fail. And only one of those Earths is going to survive. And it's going to be some mishmash of really the two. And when I say by a mishmash, this is what's going to lead to the battle world that is the Marvel Universe. The result of this collision, and whatever is done throughout this book to try and prevent it, is going to be a establishment of a new world existence, which is the Marvel Universe. And it's going to be different aspects, apparently, of both the Ultimate and the Earth 616. And this is going to be a continuing theme throughout the Secret Wars. But that battle world is going to encompass what is left of the Marvel Universe and what has changed right after the very first book. So it is kind of like a reboot and then a new beginning. We don't know any of the characters that we like that are going to remain. If you like, you know, female Thor, she may not be around. You may have the return of, you know, Thor as the Ultimate Thor. You may have Wolverine coming, you know, returning in this way. You can bring back the dead. You could change the entire framework of somebody's background because the worlds have collided. It could be, you know, for all we know, all of the things that have happened over the last 10 or 20 years could be adjusted, or it doesn't matter. These things all changed, and now we're looking at year one again and moving forward. So it's another kind of reboot and restart. So just, you know, if you're interested in Marvel and if you're interested in comic books, you know, we've seen this before. We've seen things like this. We've seen reboots. We've seen characters die off and come back. So strap in and get ready for it. If you don't like the Ultimate Universe, well, you know, you're not going to be happy about some of this, I'm sure. I've never really been into the Ultimate Universe, but I have been, you know, I'm a big comic book fan, and I'm a big fan of these stories, and a big fan of these characters, and I'm a big fan of X-Men, and anything that can bring those guys back into the fold will make me happy. But I don't see it happening in a way that I'm going to be happy with. In the same way that I'm sure that any of the changes that are going to be happening in Ninth, I'm not going to be overall thrilled with. I'm not going to be completely happy with. But I'm just, if we like this stuff and we're just going to have to accept it and see what we like and continue on from there. But there's more to come. Obviously, they only kind of threw out, some feelers and some basic information. They didn't give any real details, but just enough to either get, whet your appetite or get you really infuriated. It's similar again to what GW has done with the rumors of Ninth. And I don't even think that's necessarily, I can't really blame GW with the rumors of Ninth, because it didn't come from GW. It just came from the rumor mill, some of which were derived from people who have really good track records. So there is some truth to some of this stuff with Ninth, but we don't know. We don't know all of it, and we don't know if it's the whole story, and we don't know what of all those things are necessarily going to be true. But as far as this Marvel thing, I just got a kick out of it. The idea that there seems to be a trend. So if you have more information about this that maybe I didn't report, if you have more information about Warhammer Fantasy or Marvel or anything else you want to comment about, feel free to dive in. Please be respectful, and have a great day, everybody.